The Unbet Masters was a $10,000 EU tournament held between the 17th and 21st of December. A 16-team bracket meant we had a lot of newcomer teams, but not to mention our old top dog teams like DMS, Buff Enjoyers, and Pogelias Scumbria. As we take a look back at the results leading up to the finals, it is clear that there is still a decent skill gap between these top teams and the rest of the teams, as we only got 1-3 mapper as DMS took on PS. Focusing on the grand finals, however, we can see that Buff Enjoyers have traded 1-for-1 up against DMS in recent times. The first thing you'll notice if you haven't watched any competitive Deadlock lately is that some tournaments are swapping over to a 2-ban format. Even with continual nerfs to Pocket, we see Wolfie still playing him. We also see that DMS are rocking Vindicta with Prestis, as well as Play With Me on one of his strongest heroes, Wraith. With most of the early game action consisting of fights between lanes 2, 3, and 4, we finally see the first proper fight break out over the right side buff as DMS comes out with 3 kills.
He's about to tick over, so you can see a big fight in between lane 3 and 4 over that gun rune. I don't even know who that ended up going to, but either way, it looks like at least 1 or 2 players are not going to be getting out of here alive. The KLS being the first to drop. There's a Yamato in there for the execute.
Trying to lengthen their lead, Play With Me tries to run the urn across the map. DMS eventually get the urn turn in, but lose 2 players for it.
Big win for DMS.
Yeah, Buff Enjoy is just not interested in it at the moment.
There might be
The
another
contest happening though. Yamato's hanging out over there. We'll pop the ulti. Dimov.
No.
Gonna try and push his way forward.
They got the urn back. They're going to be able to deliver it. No, the infliction now comes out. The Kubo trying to force them away. Urn still yet to be delivered, and it's the retreat from Shiv being planned out. Pocket to try and zone him away, but all in the meanwhile, there's a backline Vindicta that's hoping to get some sneaky executes. Chaos now in the flea market, and as that continues onward, it's a last stand that's activated. Pocket trying to hide away. Wolfie still without the cloak, but it's a life steal to chase him down. The bullets to finish him off. It's retreat now planned out for the DMS side as Shiv's been given a chance to re-engage. This is Listic's game and he's here to win it, but Prestige doesn't want to let him have the controller. Missed executions, follow-up stuns, but it's still a kill for that Vindicta.
With the lead only being 3k for DMS, a big fight for the second urn nets Buff Enjoyers 4 kills and the urn turn-in.
Guardian's fallen elsewhere. It's going to be a late arrival for Wolfie, and before that happens, Play With Me's already fallen. The Gooble activated, the Seven's ulti ready, but not forced out just yet. He knows he needs to get in better position, but Wolfie's chasing him away. Now comes out the electrical storm, but the damage might be enough to take him down. Instead, they've turned away. They don't want to fight into it. They can't fight into it. It's death and dismay for DMS.
Buff Enjoyers start off the mid-boss knowing that DMS are near. However, knowing that Dimov has ult ready, it should be a free secure for them, right? Right?
Buff Enjoyers may just be forcing it. DMS don't really have an option anymore. The urn was picked up in that meanwhile, but Sap's going to have to come rolling probably back across here. This is a real flip though. It's a real 50-50. Everything's getting thrown in there. It's actually a steal coming through, of course, from Psycho 13 on that Abrams. He's managed to come up with a big play. DMS might still actually flip this game back on its head. It's a 2-for-1 trade so far. Respawn's, of course, going to be favorable for DMS at this stage of the game now with that rejuve credit. And somehow, Buff Enjoyers have found a way to potentially still let this game slip.
After turning around a 21k deficit into a 10k lead, DMS try to push their lead even further looking for an urn turn-in. Yet it doesn't go the way they want as Buff Enjoyers catch up Play With Me early in the fight.
Follow through on to Play With Me, but Ivy there to assist as always. The re-engage, as you say, from DMS coming through here, but Play With Me is really struggling to find any space in this fight at all, and that's one of your big damage dealers out of the picture early on in the piece. Buff Enjoyers, thanks to Dimov and Zergi, already finding themselves with a 5-on-6 advantage, and that might well be enough to force DMS back. Urn is going to be taken by Buff Enjoyers, and then with that, a kill as well.
After spotting out Wolfie in lane 4, Buff Enjoyers decide to take the mid-boss again. This time, Dimov doesn't blunder as they pick up a massive fight, allowing them to push into DMS's base.
It's at 41k right now, and he's massively ahead of the rest of his team and most of DMS as well. So he's going to be that key factor heading into this late game now.
This one, there's that Lash ultimate. Abrams going in, hoping to find something. Lash trying to pull them back, but the Rejuvenate has been taken by Dimov. Is this fight already gone? Is this game already lost? It's disengagement attempted as Wolfie will cloak away, but kills coming out from everywhere, and the ethereal shift is only going to buy time in a clock that's only got so many numbers left on it. Warpstone away, mobility to the max, but guess what? There's still a chase to come forward. Even if you and your teammates aren't going to, and now it's death.
After securing both shrines, Buff Enjoyers want to end the first map right now as they stick around looking to close it out.
Gotta say though, Maybe a last stand, maybe another chance. Mischarge onto the ship. He's going to continue to do all the damage in the world. Listic now telekinesis up. Drill re-engages. Telekinesis does a lot, but it doesn't stop these bullets from coming to you. And still the goo ball as well. Survivability found, but can you really survive the grim Santa Claus of Listic? It's a turnaround, it's a parry, and it's a dead cycle.
He's like the Grinch or something at this point. He's kind of just running through DMS right now and saying Christmas is cancelled. The patron is starting to go down well below half HP, and it's only Prestus, Wolfie, and Psycho to try to save the day. It's not going to happen. It will be Buff and Joyous to take game 1.
DMS continued to deny Michaelis' Paradox as they ban it away. We also get to see Play With Me back on Haze. Knowing how quickly Play With Me can snowball on Haze, Michaelis and Sherik are able to keep him in line early on.
But it is now Haze being chased down, the Sleep Dagger and Dart ready, but it's still a chase forward from Michaelis. He has to be careful. There's going to be backup nearby. It's a Vindicta to come in with the immediate lash out to keep them close. It's a trade 1-for-1, and Demo across the map makes it a 1-for-2.
Most of the lead we see early on can be accounted for in Obikim's 3 deaths pre-5 minutes, and as well as Saf and Wolfie picking up a lot of early kills. Like the last game, Play With Me tries to go for an early earn turn-in for DMS, giving them the extra souls and 2 kills.
Circling.
Kills makes his way over. Gonna be problematic.
Gonna toss it in. And it looks like in the end, it is going to be DMS that will take the earn, but they do lose Wolfie in the meanwhile, and giving the Shiv, it's giving Dimov a lot of free space out there in lane 1. That's going to be answered by Play With Me.
Being 15 minutes into the game and still not a single flex slot open up for DMS, they're forced to take a fight over in lane 4 and unfortunately lose the fight 3-2.
Last stand is never fun. There's 3 players to suck life out from, but even so, Sharik will have to back off and he cannot retreat. The execution enough to shut him down. Guardian goes down with it, but here comes Zergy looking to re-engage. Psycho taken down. Prestus not feeling good either. It's going to be now Wolfie's time to shine as he will be revealing himself to the rest of the world, but blocked off by the wall.
DMS gets a fight over the left buff while they have the man advantage. However, Buff and Joyous, being the macro masters of EU, split push lane 1 and 4 walkers. DMS responds with a mid-boss push, but BE show they can steal away rejuves as well.
Giant goo ball on my screen. It's okay, though. We'll jump back over to it. Dimov looking worse for wear on that ship. Will eventually fall. And Buff and Joyous lose 1. They're being pushed back, but you've got to have a look at lane 1 and lane 4. This is actually a 4v6 right now that Buff and Joyous are kind of just using to waste a bit of time. Their main priority right here is actually taking down walkers in those side lanes.
Walker number 1 hits the deck. Walker number 2 not long for this world. Meanwhile, DMS hoping to get an objective in exchange, but will that be possible? You've already lost out a man. Psycho hits the deck. It's still with the Lash ultimate ready and waiting. The stone form down, and it is now Lash ulti used. It's stolen away. Revenge for what was once theirs, and this fight is certainly lost. Zergy's ultimate now goes up. Play With Me's health is all but lost, and Hapex in the middle of it all will realize this is not a pit, it's a graveyard for DMS.
Off the back of an initial catch on DMS, Buff and Joyous continue to push into the base, claiming the title of champions of the Leon Bet Masters.
And one, oh my god! There was a Google there once upon a time, but I guess that's just, I don't know, power detergent or something like it. Shiv trying to dive into the fountain as well with that extra movement rune and mobility that he will be given, just keeping them at bay. He only has... what, 2 people to have to worry about? Yeah.
Well, at this point, just trying to do some janitorial duty and stop those creeps from pushing in on the patron, but that is really wishful thinking at the moment for DMS. I think we can all see which way this one is going. Buff and Joyous will take another victory.
Buff and Joyous are truly back after having a rocky stint a few months ago, being dethroned in the Deadlock Fight Night. But they have proven the ability to come back even stronger and once again reign as the best team in EU. I hope you guys enjoyed the recap of the Leon Bet Masters, and make sure you hit that follow button.